Thanks for having me here today, Dave. I'm excited to be here and to um, show you guys how the league scheduler works. It's a great tool. I don't know about all of you, but I really enjoy having some free time in my life to hang out with my family and kids, and I know we're all busy, and so league scheduler is really going to free up some of your time in your day, make your jobs a lot easier, and should be a great webinar, and hopefully you'll see some value in this today. So. Before we jump into the league scheduler, I know we're going to have a variety of different types of users here today that range from all different levels of experience with our Arbiter Sports products. So the first thing I wanted to show briefly is our suite of products that we offer. So if you go to our website, arbitersports.com, you'll see that this is the screen that will display here for you. And we have several different tabs that you can come here and browse and find more about who we are and what products we offer. But I'm going to go to the Products tab, and it brings up our suite of products. The League Scheduler is a tool found in our Arbiter Game product. The Arbiter Game product is utilized mostly by coaches, athletic directors, and league presidents. More often than not, the League Scheduler is used by the league presidents. But I did just want to point that out briefly before we jumped into the webinar itself. Since some of you may be novices to our product, I did want to show how to sign into Arbiter Sports as well. So when you're on our page, you'll see there's a login button in the upper right. And if I press that, since it's saved my credentials in the past, it takes me directly to my different associations and groups that I belong to. For those of you that are new, it will require you to type in your email address and password. And conveniently, we do offer a forgot password option as well if you've forgotten that. If you do select that, it will send you an email and it will give you instructions on how to reset your password. Now that I'm signed into my Arbiter Sports account, you'll see that I have a variety of options down below here. Most of you probably won't have this many, but some of you will. For today's webinar, I'm going to select my Test Diamond Ranch Arbiter Game account that you'll see here. And I'm the athletic director for that school. So I'll come press on that, and you'll see that it takes me to my Arbiter Game account. Arbiter Game is built much like some of our other products, like Arbiter One. It's driven by these tabs and subtabs, and that's how you'll want to navigate your Arbiter Game account. In today's world, so many people are used to hitting the back arrow or the forward arrow. From time to time when you're an arbiter, if you do that, you're going to get an error message. And so to save you the frustration on that, please just press these tabs to navigate through your Arbiter Game account. To access the League Scheduler, you'll want to go to your Schedule button, or tab in the upper left. You'll see it defaults to that automatically for you. So when I'm here, you'll see I have a sub-tab that's called the League Scheduler. That's where we're going to spend the majority of our webinar today. So when I press the League Scheduler, you'll see that I have several that I've already created. And I've created these for different tests, different webinars, different presentations that I've had throughout the country. But today I'm going to show you how to create a brand new one. So most of you, when you'll sign in here, if it's your first time, it will be completely blank. You won't have any of these schedules here already. To create a brand new one, you'll see that there's a green button in the upper right that says Create League Schedule. Go ahead and press that. Once you've pressed that, you'll see that it's allowing you to select multiple options here for you to create the league schedule. The first thing here is it's asking you what school year do you want to create this league schedule for. You'll see if you hit the drop down, we have several selections from you to choose from. I'm going to select 2017 and 18. Then the next option is it allows you to select the team that you will be scheduling for. You'll see that I have a whole list of teams here. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to select basketball girls varsity. And one thing that's great about Arbiter is if you already have a league scheduled for this team, is it's going to give you an error prompt, and it's going to tell you that you already have a league schedule created for that team. The thing that's great about that is it's not going to allow you to duplicate a league schedule. So I'm just going to hit OK. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to select a team. And the team that I'm going to select will come down here Let's find a good one that I think might work. We will go with volleyball varsity girls. And when I select volleyball varsity girls, now I can come select the default time. This is, you're telling the system what time is every varsity volleyball girls game. And you'll see again, if you hit the drop down, we have multiple options here. So I'm going to say that it starts at 4 p.m. Now the next question is, how many teams are you creating this for? Again, if you hit the drop down, we have a lot of options, but I'm going to leave 8 selected. You could have less than that or more than that. Now you'll come over here and you're going to choose the date these games are played. So I'm not a volleyball assigner by any stretch or an AD for a school, so I'm going to just come pick a random month. We'll say March of 2018. And I'm going to select that my varsity volleyball girls team plays every Friday in the month of March. And then I'll go to April, same deal. Select every Friday in the month of April. And you'll see that it's starting to keep track of all of these dates here on the right that I'm trying to create games for. So essentially what I've done here is I've created a league schedule or the parameters for it for my volleyball girls varsity team for this school year of 2017 and 18. You can already see how this is starting to save you time, making your jobs a little bit easier. I'm not quite certain how people have done this in the past, if they've done it paper and pencil, Excel spreadsheet, maybe like a Google Calendar or something like that they've shared with multiple schools, but you can see we're really trying to get this all on one screen, try to get everybody on the same platform so it's easy to share this data, which in turn will save you a lot of time. To even save you more time, you can come down here to the middle part of the screen and you can mirror this schedule to the following year, so 2018 and 19. So if I press that, it's going to mirror that. It's going to create 2 seasons worth of games for you. Now you might be saying to yourself, the 6th of April in 2018 isn't, you want all your games on a Friday. So maybe in 2019, the first Friday in April won't be the 6th. The system is smart enough to recognize that, and it's just going to schedule all of your girls' varsity games to be every Friday in April of 2019. And so you don't need to be concerned about that, how that might cause some potential problems. The next thing that you can do is you can say for 2017 and 18, I'm going to be the home team on every game. And then in 2018 and 19, you can select that you're going to be the away. So swap home and away for those 2 seasons. Once you've selected these options, you can come hit save. Once you hit save, this is a really cool feature that I think is really underutilized. And so we'll kind of go over that. What most people do, which is why it's underutilized, is they'll hit next. And that will go ahead and it will allow them to create that league schedule for those 2 seasons. However, if you hit add schedule, it's going to allow you to create more schedules for different levels of play or different sports. So I'll come here, I'll select the sport, which keep in mind we were doing volleyball a minute ago. So I'll come select volleyball again. I'll select the gender, which now you can start to see. I could say every time I have a girls volleyball varsity game, I want the system or the arbiter system to automatically put in the boys game as well. But we'll select girls just as an example. And now I can select the level of play, which is junior varsity. So now I can come down here and I can select when my varsity game happens, does the JV one happen on the same day, which you'll see right here, or maybe it's a couple days before or a couple days after. Looks like we let you go all the way to 10 days after and 10 days before. I'm going to say that my varsity volleyball games and my junior varsity volleyball games are on the same day. And I'm going to say that the games start at 4 p.m. Now if I hit swap home and away here, this feature works just a little bit different than how it did on the other page. What this is saying is when my junior varsity team plays, they're the away team on the game. My varsity is the home team. So you can see these 2 different teams will be going to 2 different locations now. So we're starting to throw some complexity in there that allows you to really get granular on where these teams will be playing. So I'll select that, and I'll hit save. And you'll see now I've created, or at least put the parameters in there for the league schedule for my girls JV volleyball team. And I can start to add as many of these as I would like. Maybe my baseball team plays 5 days before, and I want to create a late league schedule for my varsity baseball team. I could do that, and whenever that volleyball one is put in, it will put those baseball games in for me as well. You'll see here I can come edit and make modifications after the fact as well. So I can come here and hit the edit pencil. Maybe it's not the same day anymore. Maybe it's changed. So I can come here and say it's 3 days after. Maybe the start time has changed as well. I can come here and say that it's at 2 p.m. now and hit save. And you'll see that it automatically updates those changes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And this is where it gets really fun. This is where you can come in here and you can start to create these different schedules, or these different games per se. So what you do is you come to the upper left, and you can hit the drop down and you can select the schools that will be attending these different games. Now just for test purposes, since this is a webinar and I don't want to send live games to real schools, I'm going to hit the drop down and I'm going to select some of these test schools that we use here at Arbiter. And this might just take a couple seconds while I come select these. It is a one-by-one option. And I'm just randomly selecting some of these, but you know, obviously you guys will want to be very specific as to who you're selecting. Okay, now we got 8 teams in here. I apologize, that took a couple seconds, but now we got all those teams, and you can see to the right, it's plugging these teams in to these games. So for instance, on Friday 3/2/2018, Team 1, which is Albert R. Lyman, plays Team 8, which is Team Escalante High School. My Spanish isn't that great anymore. But you'll see it's really trying to create a round-robin type of system here for you. And keep in mind, if you look in the upper left, this is for your girls' varsity team. But like we've created earlier, it is creating the one for the JV one as well. So once you've created this, we have some great features here. And I think these are time-saving features as well. You can email the league. And if you email the league, it's going to send an email to every coach, AD, league president that is associated with these Arbiter game accounts or these schools. So for instance, if Box Elder has one volleyball coach, an athletic director, and a league president, it's going to send 3 emails to those 3 people attached to that Arbiter game account at Box Elder High School. And you can see how it would do that for all of these other schools as well. The main reason people will email the league is to have them look at the league schedule before they publish it to everybody, before they actually create the games. And so they'll email them all and they'll just say, please take a look at this league schedule. Let me know if it looks correct to you. And ideally what will happen is those schools will start to respond to the league scheduler, the league president, and say, could you make a change on 3/30/2018? I'm not supposed to be on this game. I'm supposed to be playing this team on a different date and time. Or maybe you'll get some feedback that says that everything looks good. So that's what that email function does. You can also print the schedule. And what a lot of people will do is they'll have a dinner before the year to just kind of go over some scheduling issues or maybe some different changes that have happened. And they'll take this schedule with them and they'll hand it out to everybody at the dinner or at the party, so they can review that during the meeting. So the next thing you can do at any point is you can come hit save here, and this will save your league schedule. And at any time you can come back here and you can edit it and you can make modifications to this schedule before you have created the games. Now that we've covered all of these options, you can come here and you can hit create games. But once you hit create games, the system is going to give you a little prompt or notification, and it's just going to ask you, are you sure you want to create 36 games? What we're really trying to do here is we're trying to prevent you from having any confusion. We're trying to make sure that you've already sent out that email, you've already printed the schedule, shared it with people, and you're good to go, because once you hit create games here, it's going to disperse those games to all those different schools' Arbiter game accounts, which, like I discussed at the very beginning of our webinar, is a great time saver. It's, instead of creating these games one by one, each school doing that, you're sending it to all of them. However, you can see the potential complications that may arise if you didn't want to send them to the schools quite yet. So hence why we have this little warning here for you. If you think everything looks good, you're ready to send those games, you can just go ahead and hit create games. Once you hit create games, you'll see that it takes you back to your league scheduler tab here. And again, I have multiple games here, league schedules that I've created. But if you've just created one along with me today, you'll have your one league schedule here that you can view. You'll see, if I come through the list of league schedules I have here, you'll see the volleyball one that we created for 18 and 19. If I come to 17 and 18, you'll see that I got my volleyball girls JV and my volleyball girls varsity. You'll see that as we created it earlier, I have 8 teams that this is for the JV and the girls varsity. If I jump all the way up to 2018 and 19, same deal, 8 teams. And you can rest assured that these games have been created and they've been sent to those schools and they can view them on their calendars at this time. That's one thing that I love about Arbiter, is the time-saving tools and pieces that we offer for you. One thing about the league scheduler, and one thing it's pretty consistent with Arbiter, is it is an add-on. It is something that you would have to reach out to our sales staff and you'd have to discuss the pricing of that. Typically what I tell people is the league scheduler costs about $50 per school that you assign for. So if you assign for 4 schools, and it's $50 per school, you're looking at about $200 to use the league scheduler piece. If you have 8 schools, then we're looking at about $400. But you'll want to reach out to our sales associates, our sales staff, and they'll be able to discuss this further. They may even be able to give you a little bit of a demo account to test it. I have a couple ways that you can reach out to our sales associates. One is their email, which is sales@arbitersports.com. And then the second one is by phone, and it is an 800 number, so it's 1-800-576-2799. Feel free to reach out to them. They're excited to talk about our suite of products, especially the league scheduler. Grateful for everybody attending today. This has been a great turnout. We've had several good questions that have been asked during this webinar that we've tried to answer. We will be sticking around after to answer any questions that you may have, or any questions that weren't answered during this. Thank you again for your time, and have a nice day.